Hello and welcome everyone to the 12th session of the Mozhan training program. Tonight we are spending one last time in the environment of the forest. And a lot of things happened since last week when we basically traveled through the environment. As a drop of water, we went into the soil, got digested and transformed within the forest, and we became vapor and joined the cloud again as we did before. So it is a never-ending story, those cycles all over the place, going on and on again, or is there actual change possible? Tonight I would like to dive a bit more deep into yourself, into myself, to learn about us, how we work, how we basically exist. Tonight's focus is specifically just a one small step from the question, who am I? Who is that me? Are there many me's? How do you define yourself? To find some answers, I would have good reason to be able actually to share with you what it means to be me. And yet how could I share with you all that happened, all that I was part of? And yet knowingly that we all are sharing quite a lot. So if we remove the future and the past, we come closer to each other, because it is exactly a certain moment that we are sharing together. We still have our different point of views, angles, more ears. Here probably more than just two. And so what if it's not just a passive way of being there, but also actually comprehend what's going on to the extent of the knowledge of Mr. Kesh, of literally being manifest or not. Tonight we have at least 2 guests that will share with you what they already did with me. We were observed from many angles since we arrived in the forest, and yet we did not really take shape. We just did go through what was already there, and at the end we understood that without us it could have not even begin to start manifesting as a forest. We can't speak of a hunt, but the senses of that animal picked us up, our solely presence amongst the green fauna and flora. And so as it is not shape and form yet, it is unknown as well what would be the relationship of that arrival of that entity with the environment. So wouldn't it be wise before we manifest to learn and observe how it works there, here? Maybe there are good reasons to be in line somehow with the environment, with that is already manifest. So good behavior, good manners, habits that keep the system running, maybe so gentle that they or them would even notice that we were there. Like a hide and seek. So let's listen if we can hear tonight's teacher. We don't need to be afraid, because we don't have shape, we don't have a body, we are just there. So we can't be eaten, hurt, or bothered in many ways. And yet, that wolf that we heard comes closer to that small, tiny field that we have taken place and time just now. Wolf, teacher, pathfinder, moondog of my soul, howling, singing, teaching how to know. Wolf is the pathfinder, the forerunner of new ideas who returns to the clan to teach and share medicine. Wolf takes one mate for life and is loyal like a dog. If you were to keep company with wolves, you would find an enormous sense of family within the pack, as well as a strong individualistic urge. These qualities make wolf very much like the human race. As humans, we all also have an ability to be a part of society and yet still embody our individual dreams and ideas. In the great star nation, Wolf is represented by the dog star Sirius, which legend tells us was the original home of our teachers in ancient times. Sirius was thought to be the home of the gods by the ancient Egyptians and is still considered so by the Dogon tribe in Africa. It stands to reason that Native American people would formulate the same connection and adopt wolf people as the clan of teachers. The senses of wolf are very keen, and the moon is its power ally. The moon is a symbol for psychic energy, or the unconscious that holds the secrets of knowledge and wisdom. Being at the moon may be an indication of wolf's desire to connect with new ideas, which are just below the surface of consciousness. Wolf medicine empowers the teacher within us all to come forth and aid the children of Earth in understanding the great mystery and life. As we meet Wolf today, you may be able to share your personal medicine with others. Your intuitive side maybe also have an answer or teaching for your personal use at this time. As you feel Wolf coming alive within you, you may wish to share your knowledge by writing or lecturing on information that will help others better understand their uniqueness or path in life. It is in the sharing of great truths that the consciousness of humanity will attain new heights. Wolf could also be telling you to seek out lonely places that will allow you to see your teacher within. In the aloneness of a power place, devoid of other humans, you may find the true you. Look for teachings no matter where you are. Wolf would not come to you unless you requested the appearance of the tribe's greatest teacher. If you're still afraid of your righteous one within you, your true you, you are being asked to expand your limited view of the present situation. Doing this may entail a great deal of courage and the willingness to look at new ideas. It could also require that you delete some old ideas to make room for the expansiveness that always comes when you are willing to learn. The gift of wisdoms comes to you when you have walked enough pathways and found enough dead ends to truly know the forest. In the discovery and rediscovery of every inch of ground comes the knowledge that nothing ever remains the same. So when you stand contrary to Wolf, it may also be telling you that stagnation or fear of asserting your viewpoint has bogged down the flow of change in your life. Wolf reversed is always urging you to seek the teachers or pathfinders that will show you the way to new life experiences. Remember, the teacher or pathfinder may be the small still voice within, as well as a person, a leaf, a cloud, a stone, a tree, a book, or the Great Spirit. To live is to grow, and growing comes through accepting all life forms as your teachers. Become wolf and take up the sense of adventure. You may just stop howling and learn to become the moon. Who actually knows? I don't know. But at least there is quite some resemblance whenever the sound of Kesh is being said or heard. And so tonight we would like to use a certain tool that really goes well with the situation of understanding how to actually being your true self. So to know ourselves means that we need to start observing how we are doing. Sometimes you are healthy, sometimes you are sick, sometimes we are joyful, sometimes we are hurt. So who is in control of this roller coaster? Is it you or is it the other you within you? Is it the one that can speak with your voice, or is it that voice that speaks but without sound? So this ancient saying of In Lakesh, I am you or you are me. This literally works when you stand in front of the mirror. So what you see in the mirror is also up to you. And what you do in the mirror will also come back right to you. You are my other me. If I do harm to you, I do harm to myself. If I love and respect you, I love and respect myself. So when we ask ourselves how we should deploy and connect through the matter state to this world, to this forest, to this environment, we understand that in the moment that we change the existing environment, we also change ourselves. And if we are content and happy with the state of now, why should we change the environment? And yet, no matter what we do during the day and night, there are certain moments that do not come to our radar. We don't see them, we just do, we just behave. And yet, week by week, we learn day by day, moment by moment, that there is more knowledge coming out, and we have our supply of change, a positive outcome, no matter what. Can you apply this in the every state of now in your daily life? And I mean being truly yourself and not just follow or fall in line in case the environment is a bit on the wrong way. How can you actually define if you are on the right side or if it is your environment? Everything could be upside down. And yet, when we stand in front of the mirror, we truly know whatever we do, how we behave, and how we look at that certain moment, that what we give in is what we get out. Now, coming back to our today's year, 2022, when we reflect what we have been experiencing, owning, or at least renting for so many years, do we see the mistake that is here in this little chart? It is not a mistake in the casual point of view that we focus on the matter state. But if I replicate exactly that mistake, just focusing on the matter state, then this 20% look much bigger than the 70 just on the right side next to. So the part of the water combination that we are is too small, and the carbon is here way too large. So when we go back just to that second or moment when we dropped from the cloud, it was night above and below. In the moment when we define ourselves as a drop or a droplet of water, we would be that which can be seen within the unknown which cannot be seen. Now when we drop to the soil, we might have a different shape. and yet we are the same. So when we came as water and we changed as water, we can hide in trees, we can hide in the soil, and we can hide in the air. So literally we are everywhere. Depending on our focus, at least as a human perspective, we would see shortly a drop. Most likely we won't see anything in the soil because it seems to be soaked by the earth. So we would only see larger amounts of that existence that we actually are playing here. The same works with the GANs. So the GANs as a compressed or gathered matter state, transitioning state between the manifest and the non-manifest is literally everywhere, exactly like some sort of water. We are breathing it in and out. We're always part of it. We are mostly water. We are on a construct or existence that is also mostly water. So the many reflections of the same are at hand, everywhere around us. So when we have the me, and then we have the them, whoever and wherever they are, if I cut it a little bit, it is easier to see that this would also be the short version of them. So from me to am or them is literally just 180 degrees. It is exactly that image that reflects, or that actually reflecting most of the mirrors that you see yourself, almost 100% correct. So the left turns to the right and vice versa. So when we flip the me to the M, we are very close of how we are actually being part of that totality. So who are we, or who are you, when you get enraged by the songs, the plays of the birds? When you can't make sense of this noise, when you do not understand that everything is just as it is, and therefore it can be perfect in your point of view, or it cannot be perfect. And maybe even the word perfect does not really make it clear, because when it means to be perfect, maybe it is already done, so there is no more change. It can't be in the flow with all of us. So maybe the perfection is the constant change, the never-ending story. So now, in what situation can we actually take ourselves back and let the others, the first row, the piece of bread, the money, the love, the place, the time and space, actually their freedom to choose for their own. And what goes around comes around means that already what you see in the outside is happening within you. So maybe it's easier to understand yourself first before you want to understand everyone else. And maybe we don't even need to understand, but being just able to let go of those things that hold us back. Totally forget ourselves in the moment when we basically drop to the soil to continue in a different shape or form. And yet we need to understand that with everyone or this totality, without them it would not be possible. Which means when the water is part in every particle of the scene, it means it needs to be there to co-create. So now maybe it is wise to actually see what we are projecting out into the world, what we demand or what we are able to give hand and support. And what about you can support yourself very easily? So we start with the soul. Then we have a connection twice. And we start with the heart and we have a connection twice. I'm coming from the water that is literally like in this structure. Let's say we start actually exploring the ways of how we could manifest. So we say we split from 1 into 2. The story goes so far, we have a soul and then we have a brain that is like in 2 parts. Next building level is heart and 2 lungs. There can be more. Now when we connect the soul with the lung, we get the oxygen. We get the behavior of the oxygen that wants to create or actually connect to the 2 H's, to the 2 nitrogen. So when we can learn from, let's say, the elements, how they are doing and how they are dealing in their society, then we apply this understanding to our body and our existence, the way that when we breathe in through the nose, this oxygen and whatever comes with it goes very close to the soul. And when we connect the two brain sides with the heart, we know that we can actually adjust our heartbeat to either the past or the future when we replay certain events in our life, or if we consciously wish and dream of certain events in our life in the future. So when we get this symbol out of that, I think nobody would be unhappy to say, okay, we started as a star, or like a star fragment, or like a mini star when we became manifest. Maybe now we can see that within the lightest part is already a structure. And if the triangle upwards means magnetical, and the opposite means gravitational, balance means that we have a very appropriate star that seems to be even in all directions as that formation of two triangles. Okay, so we add again the two brain sides, the soul, and then we have the two lungs and the heart. It gives us ways of understanding that through whatever we put into our brain, we will have straight effect to the heart, like from this side and from that side. And vice versa, that we have a very strong connection in the subtle way to the soul through the breathing. Now, we already mixed so many parts of this construct of thinking that is making you free of condition, and yet you're free to apply in a symbolic way the peace of the knowledge. So we learned that some ways of breathing bring us in a more relaxed state. What if relaxing means that our tensions and our connection to the matter state are reduced? And therefore, through the breathing, easily and unconsciously, we are elevating our system on a literally on a global scale as a body. And we all know that when we look out into society, and sometimes also within us all, those things that go around in our mind, like that train that we had in the first couple of sessions, the mind train that is basically holding you in check in that position while it is encircling you to now go further in your giving and receiving as an entity that is not limited to matter. So as we learned to breathe with the Sandman exercise over here, now to basically solve the other level of the building with the brain, that is not for me to tell you. And yet, if I could give you anything to basically make it easier, then it would be that to be empty here in the mind, if you can have a clean slate, what I often refer to as just a black or a white background, if you can go that deep in still existing but without have any connection to what needs to be done or could be thought, felt, done. So when you are so relaxed with your being, you're connecting to all the different states of how you could arrange yourself, and therefore through this transparency of yourself you see into the existence around you. So imagine you're standing in front of a big mirror, and now your body becomes really translucent. It goes like transparent, everything goes through you, the light can go through you. So when the forest is then transparent with you, you would understand every single thing that is going on. And with that insight, you would also enjoy the scene much on a different scale than just going in there to hunt or to relax or to breathe. Literally to understand, no more further, but more so to comprehend, means that you contain the knowledge of how you are created, or actually how you are creating yourself in every moment. So when you have found this answer, then you will see where you are missing in the big piece of that puzzle. You will just do what needs to be done. Keep an empty mind and a full lung. For one's sake, to actually elevate yourself, and on the other hand to ground yourself, to be in harmony in that state of giving and receiving as yourself, and to and within yourself. Now, as we started in the last picture as from the top view, so we had this white circle in the beginning, even you remember. We were looking from, like we would skydive, we would fly out of the sky towards the ground. And when I was adding stuff around, we changed with 90 degrees our angle. So we had a sideways look. So the tree was going like this. Let's go back here. So what we in the beginning had like a top-down view, we changed now into a 90 degrees. From this side point of view, we could see a different scene that if we would just fall out of the sky, we would just see the tip of or the crowns of the trees. Maybe they would look like this.
Is that Andreas?
So now it's not to draw the 360 to you or for you, but I just showed you how little we change in understanding to see a bigger picture. So take this example, and next time you have whatever challenge or decision to make, that you just take the example of how you see or how you observe yourself. The less you are connected to the matter state, the easier it is just to be. Because this beingness gets actually the point of view of observing. You can see, you can hear, you can smell, you can probably taste. You don't need to act in the ways of still experiencing life. So who do I mean when I talk about them? The world that is not okay, or the team that just won the cup? What if you take seat in that center here, in that droplet, and you take observation from there? And through the combination of how you are already, Mr. Kesh is asking us to put our body into our soul. What if I was meaning to give you with the environment that what we share as experiencing a body? So everything that we pack in here that gravitates towards us is that which you already are containing yourself within. If we go with a spaceship, this bubble would look red. If we go with the soul, it would be colorless. Or all colors at the same time. Maybe you discover that how we look at ourselves or at the environment is a very good example of how we look to ourselves. Which means whatever you have as an intake, for example, in the matter state of eating, that needs to go through you in one way or another. So you consciously go for this experience of working on that. You keep yourself busy in one way or another. And yet this busyness is exactly here. That is your actually worst fear or worst enemy, because it is holding you away from this emptiness. Unless you know what you're doing when you're busy. So if I take this star and try to put some mirrors in between So one mirror would be like this, one would be like here, so everything that comes into, which is mirrored, is actually just one idea that needs 180-degree flip. If it is so easy, why do we make it so complicated? What if you already know what is true and right for yourself? If we listen to the wolf, he tells us that the more paths we have already taken and made our fair share of experience, the more we come closer to what we would call wisdom. Wisdom is to do different next time, to not repeat the cycle. And what it is exactly that you could repeat the cycle in the breathing to make you empty. So this circle is something that goes around to contain this emptiness. It's harder to move now here or give some movement into this 2D picture. And yet maybe it works somehow like a machine as well. So the more effort you put into the breathing, the much free becomes your soul. And the more you put into your mind or into your brain, or that you have to face day by day, the more that you are grounded and kept away from dreaming. If you could actually guess, or maybe already know, where would you put your forest in your body? So literally ask yourself, if we are right now in the forest, where would that be when there would be a reflection of that forest in the outside, within you, in your body? I give you a little hint. Maybe now we see the bigger picture. Or a slice was added to the smaller cake. So when everything is constant exchange of here and there, up and down, left and right, inside, outside, give and take. If this is a constant that you could experience in yourself and also in the outside, would it be enough to make it a rule for you to follow, to go in line with, or to align, or just to apply the knowledge that seems to be present? So if the bubble can be also seen as a Merkaba, or has a different picture because a bubble looks a bit boring sometimes. So if a star like this 2 triangle, maybe it's also like a 3D, maybe you can add here the third eye, and then we have same on the bottom, so it gets more like into a 3D. But that's not for me to tell here. I try to focus whatever I say to make sense to myself, to also be reflected then in some senseful way through my voice, to actually share what I comprehend to seem working with me or within me. We also see that there are many other connections. That, for example, there is some straight exchange or closer connections. Before that, and yet when can you actually go back into your history books of your life and share with the world when you were whole or one with yourself? Basically, you mastered how you can coexist without taking too much and without giving too much. Now, when we go back to what I call the green zone, do you see the tree now as yourself? Are you as much as a tree as the one standing in front of us? Take any of these and be them. Be yourself as a tree. If you would be able, basically fit into that picture very well. You would not be outstanding and therefore part of the totality in a balanced way. Now try to see that this forest is your lung. So maybe the roots are upwards and the tip of the tree is basically going towards your stomach. As we synchronized our breathing with the Sandman at the beach with the sea, try to synchronize next time when you are in the forest. If there is maybe a little bit of wind, try to synchronize your breathing, the bigger lung around you. If I would draw the same picture as we see here right now with cables, we would all understand that, okay, it needs some way of connections to be shown here. But isn't that already here? Are not the tree connecting to the ganses, to the plasma fields, their way? Like the hairs of the skin of the earth, they're outstanding and reaching for the light, reflecting it in a color or in many colors. They seem to attract the light and work with it. Do you perceive yourself as that you work with the light? I'm not talking about sun gazing or that you sell sunglasses or umbrellas. No, I'm meaning that when did you practice last time of what it would mean that you would be in connection, in alignment with light? And which source would you pick? Because if you would work with the light, you would be in connection. And when you would be able to connect with the oxygen, you would be in a power to make water. And if you would be able to make water, we already know that you would be able to create a forest. So if this light is all over present, but sometimes hidden, then there is just one blank picture of white. Or in terms of washing machines, you have a dress that is not cleaned yet, and as soon as it goes through the process, it will become clean again. No more traces, no more cables, no more connections to that experience as or with. I want you to imagine that there is a tiny little fire in that forest. How you notice that? Because you can feel the burn on your skin as you are also part of the soil. So through that connection, you are already aware of what's going on. And now you know how you can bring the needed water to that place that seems to be overheated and therefore causing some trouble in the society or in the landscape. Now we picture again the same situation, but now we put it, for those who have a tattoo, it might be easier to apply such a scene to your body. But yet just imagine that you have a skin rash, something is itchy, or you have a thought that is not going away. See how this is connected to either your breathing, to any way of how you are connected to that environment. And if we know the 80-20, that's the 80% of how we sustain ourselves through the atmospheric, like through the ganses and the breathing and the plasma. So we don't need to eat that much, really. We actually just need to eat little. And these trees right in front of us doing right exactly the same. They eat very little on a bigger scale. And we have again the reflection of the sound of the sea in the tree. I would like to give you a hint to actually teach or to be an example to the environment means to understand how the environment is. So when we know how someone is or how you are, what are we actually asking? Is it that usual answer that we get? Yes, I'm fine, I'm doing great, I'm doing this, I'm not so well. So when you have an answer to this question, now you can reflect that answer into your behavior of your first principles or basic needs of an empty mind and the breathing. When you're doing those two things at the same time, you become a star. Maybe it needs some practice, maybe some letting go, maybe some discipline. But yet all I say is just temporary, because in the act of doing you should not do anything I say, but just be you. And since you and me, we are both breathing, and we both can think or not, do I really need to convince you of doing the empty Sandman? Maybe it's just the skin, and then we have plasmatic state. Nothing to grab, yet more to experience, because it goes over the border, through your skin, into the vast expansion of the existence. Or maybe it's just, as we started, a tiny drop on a hot stone. So the more you understand and comprehend yourself, the more joyful you will be as a teacher in your everyday daily situation. People will see that you are coherent with yourself, that you act appropriately, that you think in a helpful way, not to get but more to give. And this trust, this confidence, this application of your own grown wisdom will make you shine, literally. When it will happen, how should I know? And yet I'm pretty sure we are all working on it, or we already did the work. We are just fooling ourselves here. at least I can tell you that I'm not holding you back. I see the water drop within you as I see it within me. In that vast ocean, it is hard to say which droplet is here the chief of command, if not everyone for themselves as a reflection of the totality. The answer to, I dare to say, all questions is that you pretend to talk to the mirror 100%. You are my other me. If I do harm to you, I do harm to myself. If I love and respect you, I love and respect myself. So maybe we are already those stars. We are just a bit out of shape. To actually find a way out of your old shape. To literally start the process of transmutation within me and also for everyone who is looking for that change that they wish to see in the outside, to literally bring the command home. If there is balance in power, and yet there is so much diversion in knowledge, to trust yourself first, to apply yourself as you are. Maybe the mirror is right here. This line. Maybe it is that field of your aura that you're emanating, that you're radiating. And that also reflects what is going on at the center of this star. Maybe it is a reflection of that center, and therefore it is out in the open how much in the balance we are, or how much off. So I would like to repeat, bring your brain into that empty state. Simulate actually the oxygen of being an oxygen. It is transparent, it is tiny as bubbles can be, and yet it is so strong to connect twice to the light, to create out of itself with the environment. One lesson of going through the map as we started like 3 months ago is to actually go with you like a travel agent through the many environments to connect you back in one way or another, either to the environment and sooner or later hopefully to yourself. And everything between is the learning field that we are exploring since we took shape. So maybe to change between the shape and the shapeless is not that far-fetched anymore. It is constantly happening all around us, and it is happening within us. So what is the constant that remains the tip of the star? Like a spaceship that has the landing gear still inside the ship. It cannot connect. But when we add the emotion to that, the first connection between the soul and the heart is like emotion, and the brain and the lungs are the intermediaries between. It is just a state of emptiness, call it a portal or a clean mirror that is hindering you from being your perfect or true self. So for some it can take hours. For me it took like 9 days. Maybe it will take some years or a couple of months for some. Yet the action to take is very simple and you already know. So when we have the empty space or the full potential, we either see inside something here or we don't see. We see it either full or empty. So in that emptiness you connect to the light. And like a tree, you manifest from a seed to a plant to a tall tree. It seems to take or require time and space, but yet from the droplet to an ocean, it's not so much of a question how to do it. We just need more water. So when you're producing your own water to make your craft, did you already came across the idea that if everything is mainly water, what it would mean to be for existence? That you are home in water, and therefore when you want to deploy yourselves as you know how to do it with water. You can be a baby, you can grow, you can shrink again, you can sweat, you can spit, you can digest. You're always with liquid. Now we know we're always in the field of plasma. So to come home, to literally reach the center of your existence, would also mean that you go out into the big picture at the same time. So if your magnetical is like this and your gravitational is like that, to hold the center right here, seems to be more difficult than when we have a combination of the two. It looks much more like embraced. Maybe our gravitational is too big in relation to the magnetical. Maybe it is the opposite. Do you know where your heart is? Okay, maybe it's a good idea to open the round here. I would like to invite anyone who has a question who would like to contribute from their point of view, from their perspective, whatever suits the situation, the moment, to have more of a party than just me speaking, and yet to remain in silence. I would like to follow up after the questions and the answering, because the third guest, or actually the second guest, will be a video clip that is about, I think, 45 minutes. And I will play that at the end of the session, so you can fade out of the session freely. For those who are still caught in the acts of listening, you're quite welcome to just enjoy the session till the end. And yet I would like to open the round here and ask if there are any questions, maybe like a feedback of application of the knowledge, combinations, relations, anything that suits the time.
Hello, Andreas, and everyone.
Hi,
This is
Galik.
Galik from Holland. I want to thank you for this far, the beautiful journey. I have been pondering about the Merkaba star. In this occasion, I remember that there are 6 points, and then the center is. It kind of reminds me of the amino acid, which captures the soul in the middle, what Sir Kesha once explained. So I wanted to dive a bit into that, if that's okay.
Okay.
Would you just ask the question, what is the heart? So if I look at the drawing, maybe the drawing is just too symbolic and I shouldn't take it too seriously, or I shouldn't say serious, but like too literally, maybe that's the right word. I'm just want to because the heart part is the star pointing down. So I was thinking, if I look also at the drawing here, the heart and the two lungs, to me it feels like it's mostly your stomach. And the reason why I say that is, if I can I share my screen?
Yes, 1 second. Try again, please.
Yes. Can you see my screen? Can you see it?
Yes, we can see it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I was thinking, if you have like two stars and the 7 chakras, and because Sir Kesha once he explained like the 4 amino acids, he drew it, and then he said, then you have also, then you know why this is the 5th, and then he also said something like that. This. So ever since then, I've been like trying to think about the chakras and the amino acids also as something that we can use to understand ourselves better. And that's why I bring this up, because we know the colors of the, I'm going to just put the zoom next to it. We know the colors of the chakras, which are these on the outer side. And that's why I was thinking this. So you have the ones pointing upwards and the ones pointing downwards. This is one way that I'm studying it. What you're saying right now. Yes. So that's my answer to the what is the hard part. I feel like if I go a bit more up to this drop, I felt like if this is the heart chakra, this one, is this a way maybe for others to make sense as well? I don't know.
If you draw it like this, you have like a, that's what I meant with a 3D. So it's not a triangle, it's like a polygon. So it has like it is containing the structure out of itself with the triangles. Do you know what I mean? It's not flat. It's like a pyramid with 3 sides.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah,
4 sides,
yeah.
but it has like the
a base with 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I felt it like this, because this would be actually the purple one would be inside the ultraviolet. I felt like it would be ultraviolet. This one. But in that case, the green one should in there. Maybe. Is that what you meant?
I think if you flip this star really like 90 degrees, I think the green one would be on the bottom.
All right. So right there.
Yeah. And then you have more or less what I wanted to draw before, what I was drawing. Yet you align it with the chakras on a, you know, the connection I was drawing is more like it's more on a basic level. So when you go into the chakras, then you basically sum up to like 7 or more.
Yeah. Yes, I get it. Yeah. Okay.
But actually, what you were drawing here, if we have that pink one in the middle, every other color would be a reflection of the potential of the center here. So, you know, out of yourself, so the droplet would be in the middle, and then you decide actually how you connect to the environment, be you a tree, animal, insect, you know, still being as an element. It's just a way of on how many levels you are connecting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Otherwise, it is just like an environment of the different colors here that are encircling the center. So, in a bubble shape, then would be then like the stars we were. I think we saw that a couple of sessions before. When I was when you can even do it tonight if you have. Take your cell phone and then try to zoom as clearly as you can to the brightest star that you can see. So it looks very much like a bubble that is emanating all sorts of colors, like permanently.
I remember that. When you said, when something that you said also reminded me of. You can also see it, maybe, I don't know how you, if you agree, but like this part, like you have the now and you have the past and the future. And what is the now is what you can see your soul conduct to be, if I quote Mr. Kesh. Your your soul can conduct, what can your soul conduct in the future through the higher chakras? Is that maybe also?
I would say yes, yeah. Did I get your question?
Yeah, I think so. That's like also the balance between the two, the breathing and because I feel sometimes, I feel in this, I feel that I get there when I try to do the Sandman exercise, that I am in that very consciously in that eternal now. When I in a way, yeah, you let go of everything. Also the attachment to experience something, or to confirm what you think is going to happen. And that's when I kind of like feel that I am expanding from this point in the middle.
Now, if I can add to this, if you look this now as not a side view again, like but a top view. So we have the green one in the center, and then you have those two bubbles that are connected to the center, either going to the past or to the future. So depending on your education and everything that happened in your childhood and basically your records of life, the past is, you know, has different qualities of how to basically reflect the future. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So in case you have the perfect childhood, it will be hard to motivate you anything in the future to do, maybe because you are so spoiled like everything. So there is no need for you never had the, you know, the feeling of that was a need or urge to do something. In the contrary, when someone has a difficult childhood, there are other challenges as well, and yet there might be even with the term of hope, you know, that you always have this that light that you recognize in the term of hope. That you know, nothing can stop you. You'll keep going on, so that you constantly co-create that future because you had a difficult childhood. And yet to basically bring that closer to the now, and those both would need to be balanced, or in the easier way, basically like delete the past and the future, and then you would just have the presence to be present with.
Yeah, exactly. I think what you said as last, because ever since I've been in the system, I know that that is what happens, but that's not what I consciously did. But I definitely get what you mean, that it's you don't attach to either anymore.
Maybe it is easier for if I can take back the screen.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you. So let's say you're in the night and you're dreaming, and now out of the nothing, we have a door. So to approach the door as a human with everything that is related to the body and the matter state, that's actually what we are doing. So in the moment we are going through the door, which means that door would be, I'm not sure if I can draw that correctly. So in the moment we go through that door, that's what I meant with, when you are comfortable in the emptiness. So basically whatever follows from door to door, or from level to level, or from environment to environment, the act of this transmutation with possible transformation or remanifestation in form and shape, that's along the way here. So if we say, okay, now the manifestation the only thing that is manifest here is the door, then it would mean that you are the door, and all of the chakras are like doors. Basically, what you put in that door through you out in the open is that's the act of doing. So it becomes like again like this toroid structure of self creating the scene. So the most difficult part is coming from a matter state experience, basically going through that tube and being redeployed on the other side, or basically just going through the act of not being related to matter anymore and still exist. This is the, let's say, the whole fear game, if you will.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
And with the thinking, it's well, for at least for me speaking, is this is something very easy that happens. I'm pretty sure every one of us here can also apply that. So whenever you have a thought or even a discussion, just try to not even try. You will just notice when is this happening. So if someone is going back into, even you with your thoughts, when you're going back of, what happened yesterday was so bad or was so good, what happened 3 weeks ago was so good or so bad, what will happen in 2 weeks will be the best, and in 3 weeks the world will go down, and so on. So literally you're throwing yourself out of the driver's seat when you try to basically guide the fate of the earth, if you will, through connection that you're making up to what seems to be reality. So like you're driving on the highway and you're telling everyone how to drive. So it's a thing of impossibility to do, and yet actually to understand yourself first, at least to drive properly yourself on the streets or in the scene. So whatever we are doing here, basically through the different environments, we had the water, we had the beach, then that turned into the desert, and now we went through the air into the forest and into the soil. I try to drag you through many dirty situations, you can call it, to basically make you more aware of your capabilities, of your your, it's not confidence, but it's actually your potential is all our potential is so vast that we basically we lock ourselves in our artificial created environments on a daily basis to maintain the now, but basically that is repeating the past. So um, so what if you would like to ask yourself a question, what would you do if you could do anything tomorrow? I think that would completely skyrocket many of us, at least in the mindset to maybe risk something or basically get a new idea of how you could basically experience or contribute or serve more to the people or the animals or the entities in need through your presence, and basically to be in a position of being helpful or supportive means that you need to understand what's going on. So in case you stand in front of a building that is totally burning, if you don't know how to work that fire, it's maybe better you don't start doing it. And on the other hand, if you basically see the fire but don't understand that there is something wrong or that is not usual, maybe you just stand there and say, okay, it's happening. It was not me, and that's how it is. Has to be. This would be like an ignorance of the situation if you hear also people maybe shouting out of the building. So you need to have a certain understanding of how to relate to your environment. And when we are little, when we are kids, we are going like crash dummies. We're just doing it. We are not thinking, and the older we get, the more we start to think. We start to do less, and so we're doing more or less the opposite of what we learned and what we experienced as children. And so in the end, if a child sits in front of the mirror and basically sees then the adult version of itself, that image, at least for too many children, is not so much joyful when the treatment of the parents goes down to the next generation, because they had a different childhood or difficult childhood. And so there is much to let go, actually, in many ways, and like time to arrive in the now basically means that you need to cut your loose ends or integrate them, make peace with them. There are so many terms, but basically you need to be okay with yourself, and basically arrive that you're still breathing and still okay, and that is at least a good news for the moment. And the further we go back in time, we start bothering ourselves and keeping ourselves relating and creating that busyness in our mind. So try to be happy without knowing what you're doing tomorrow, basically. And so you don't have to worry, and you don't need to have a certain structure or whatever that tells you what to do. So can you just create your day out of the moment? Or if you don't create, then can you just let it happen? So I think that would be a joyful contribution to whatever situation may occur. I would like to ask if anyone tried to apply this little exercise from the last teaching by actually putting a little pressure on your eyes with your hands, or basically observing your existence through the vision. So, and basically, how would you decipher, or how could you explain how the spotlight, when the light travels from the lamp to that which is spotted, how that works, or how that how you observe that? Did anyone try that?
I did try it, but I found especially the second exercise a lot more. You need to try it a lot more often. And as far as I can say, also what yesterday during the American knowledge team, what Alex had said about you look from one point to another point, and in between you're just it's a blur, because at any point, at any moment that you have a conscious experience of the thing, that's then manifested. But between those points, the manifestation is a bit, it's held in the air, as so to say, between brackets. And that's also a way I've been trying to look between the vision, or from trying to step a set a step back. But I have to keep trying this and see how it deepens my understanding. So I'll report later again.
Okay, very well. Thank you. Yeah, it's nice how you put it in words, or maybe already Alex did. Was it our Alex here? You, Alex, or was it another Alex?
No, it was Alex
I think he means
Scory.
Scory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yes,
It's
because
on YouTube.
Yes, that blur.
Andreas, I missed the.
Hi, Gail.
I missed the last week. So you're saying put the palms on your eyes, and then how long do you hold it like that?
Actually, if I can start from the beginning, so the what I like to emphasize is that if you have this, can you see my screen?
I can see it, but it's dark. Yes.
Exactly, that's what I want to show you. It's just empty and dark.
Yes.
So I mentioned this emptiness, or this clean slate of background, basically. Now when we change it to white, so I want you to have this understanding of that you can make like a clean slate in your mind. So that means you're not thinking at that moment. There's just a piece of paper there. Either this, or that there is like empty space in darkness. So these two situations are that you can replicate with your vision. And the moment that you're having your eyes closed, you're literally taking the light away. When you now stand in front of the sun and you still have light coming towards your eyes, yet you have them closed, you have a different image. So I was aiming there that you basically see your blood running. You can see that when you have the sun coming to your eyelids. So that's one other vision that is very close, and that should show you that in between that very close, it's actually just touching you, and the one at very far distance. So you have to focus to actually experience or observe something. And now was what Gali was saying, that in the vision between, if it's blurry means it is not concrete, or it's not specific. That means it basically just is sending out that vision beam or that light beam, how you call it, and it's just like a projector that is empty. So now when you basically start to play with these states of your vision, when you close your eyes and you don't even need light for that, and you put your palms on your eyes closed, and you put a little pressure on it, you will see that there is something going differently with your vision. So be gentle, but you can apply a little bit of pressure and see what you are actually envisioning, or what happens to your eyes, basically. I can only emphasize that you listen to your body, basically to your eyes in that specific moment. Do gently or as hard as you will, but actually it's just to change a little bit, basically that flow of that vision, and then learn from this obstruction, basically. Or in other words, what do you see when you don't see? I think it was Danilo. Danilo is not here tonight, but he shared before that through meditation, maybe it was the Sandman experience, that he was able to see like 360 with closed eyes. So maybe this is an experience that we could point to the third eye theme or topic. So basically your vision with the normal eyes is already a limitation by itself, even we perceive it completely differently. So when you can experience the field, the plasma field, in terms of like a wind or in terms of rays, we need to look for these specific replication in reality, or what seems to be real, and then therefore then we have like a trace. We can go back, like follow the rabbit into the rabbit hole. There is also that famous, maybe some of you have seen that, it's in that movie Matrix, the two persons stand there in a empty white room, and then there are some there's stuff just coming in, like also like trains, I think, there. So how can you still be like happy when you have nothing but an empty room? So our mind is literally, or at least our brain is trained to store, to like you say, save a picture on your computer, you save that to your hard drive. So your mind is literally like a graveyard for your memories, if you will. And whenever you're take the experiences out, you will have like some sort of vision, or at least flashback of emotions, of images, and maybe sounds. So that is it's actually not your best friend, because then you can train yourself of what you're seeing. So that we are actually how we saw today, that through the emptiness and the breathing, we basically fuse the star together, or getting more to the center, is actually the opposite of what we have when we just have too much in our brains, and we have to constantly think. We basically are not at home in that moment, so because we are back in the days or somewhere back in the future. So in that moment we are going through the door, everything needs to be present that you are willing or loving to bring with you. And so in the state of the transmutation, you need to have that confidence without basically having this visual or other confirmation of that it is in that state of how you knew it present. So all your baggage and your memories, basically they're not going through that door. They are becoming that emptiness of that open door when you pass through it, as the same as you.
Right now, I'm thinking, you know, when a baby leaves the womb of the mother, maybe is she wondering, or he wondering as well? Like, am I going to lose everything? Am I being eaten by the light as she comes to the day? And then the experience on the world.
Would anyone else answer to Galib's question?
So if I'm doing all this, sometimes if it's dark and inside it's dark, it looks as if I'm looking up and it's like I can't even think of the word, but it's opening up, and it's almost a circular opening up so that you're going to go out. Is that what we're talking about? Sometimes it's sort of dark, but sometimes it's like there's an opening, like you're going out into a light.
You mean when you put pressure on your eyes? A gale?
Yeah. Yes, it's Gail. Almost like Galib. I
Yeah.
have, yes, except you have a B. I used to do something called Giving Light, and it was run by a community, and you would hold your hand up towards a third eye, and you would speak. It was a Japanese saying, and you would speak it, and you would feel the energy pouring from your hand, and a lot of times people would mention, seeing that kind of thing, sort of an opening in the third eye part. And also when you mentioned the baby in the womb coming out, if I had a choice, I would make sure that the child could experience sunlight, lying on a beach and exposing the baby to the sunlight, that kind of thing. So it would have all the experiences, all kinds of music, beautiful, good experiences, so the baby is kind of prepared and ready before it pops out into a strange situation. And also when you mention lights, it really would be awful if you had to stare at all those lights in an operating room. That's pretty awful, but I guess it's for safety's sake. Just a thought.
Yeah, I've been thinking about this because there are some people who say, I remember choosing my parents. And then
Oh, yeah.
I think, well, at what point did you choose? Did you choose when the mother was already pregnant, and did you jump in then into the baby? Or I don't know, these are maybe weird questions, or maybe this is.
Yeah, I
But
also like to know that answer too.
Or because whatever that person says or any person would say is of course also what they can say at that moment. So that's why I don't put the end of the conversation to them. But I think
When does the soul form?
I think
And
Mr. Cash answered this.
when does yeah, I'm trying to remember. And then the soul of physicality would be created. Is that the way?
I think
So it seems
there's two things, as you say, indeed the soul of physicality part and then the soul of man part, which he went through, and it was a very short time, something with 10 days or like 10 days after the third month, something like that.
wow. I wish we could find that one again because I think I missed it.
He was also talking about this with Jalal. Jalal asked this question again. He also wanted to know for sure. And I'm going to look into this, and in appropriate time, like we can maybe talk about it again, because in a way, if we're constantly going through the door, and every time we're also bringing something and then giving something out again, then was the cycle before us. What can we know about that cycle according to what we're doing right now that can maybe say something about the cycle that's the new cycle? And
You mean the cycle for the earth?
yeah, exactly, the new cycle. And
Oh.
well, maybe we can talk about it next week, or according to the teaching we have if I may, Andreas, a small plug. This week we're planning to do a part of the Dutch teaching in English on Thursday evening. That will be in CST time. So everyone is invited as well, and I'm going to send this around. But that's just a small thing. Please tell me if it's not the place. I just make advertisement now, but that's it.
Well, if Fleet is there, it's the right place.
It's all fine, Galip. Thank you. When is the time on Wednesday?
It's on Thursday at 8.
Thursday. 8
in the evening.
But you have a new Dutch teaching then?
Yeah, we just normally go through the teaching in the morning of that Thursday from Mr. Cash. We translate it to Dutch during the entire teaching. But this week we thought, what if we do during the second half of the teaching a discussion like we always try to have, but in English if we can, or partly English or translated or something that we can try to accommodate other languages as well, because English is also officially the second language of the Netherlands. So it's not out of place to speak English in our teachings.
Okay. Yeah, the Germans, they start at 7:30, I think.
Yeah.
And you'll always find Mark Anderson is there.
Everywhere.
And he usually puts a note. Yeah, oh yeah, he's everywhere. He usually puts a note when he's getting ready to help set up with the workshop.
Yes, bless him.
Okay, I'm happy with that. Thanks.
Is there anyone else who would like to do something in the open?
I mentioned that I see that it's almost like everything is opening out. Maybe you're in a volcano pit and you look up and you see a little bit of that. What would that signify? Do you have an opinion, Andres, on this one?
Can you can you take me with you? Like before that happens, what is the setup? How do we get there?
Explain it again.
Yes, with that opening. When happens that?
I think I'm just trying to remember if it happened. Okay. Well, I might be lying down, not flat down, and I may try to get it really dark, and then I just kind of pay attention to what's going on in the third eye, I guess you could say, that area. And I mentioned giving light from my hand. You can feel the energy flowing out, that kind of thing. And when that happens, sometimes I see some energy, and sometimes it's just going straight up, kind of out of my head at the top. So I don't know if that's the energy. I come close to going out, to leaving, and then I don't know if I'm scared or what, but I sort of stop it a bit.
If I may ask, how did you come to this experience? Did you look for it, or did it happen to you by circumstances or accidents?
I would say probably if I'm quite relaxed and not thinking about it too much, and then I will suddenly realize, oh, look at this, look at what's happening here, and then I start to focus on it. So it could be more accidental. And then a couple of times, of course, you try to experience your soul becoming free, I guess. Does that help?
There may be so many ways to experience. I have a certain image. If you see the map that we are using here, so if we take this circle, like this big roundabout here in the middle, if we take this and put it on flat, and then maybe above your head or somewhere, if it is a door or a portal or just like a transition or that tunnel with the light at the end, it's it's for you to see in that moment. And yeah, what should I say? It's I think Mr. Cash answered that once, that there is like a leash to your soul has like a leash to the body, and well, from my point of experience, I would say you will stay here as long as you enjoy it truly and from your heart. Yet there is actually no limit. Maybe there is something holding you back in that moment. It's really a question of why you're going that way. So if something is pushing you toward that direction, it can be easier. For me speaking, there was no other thing to do, literally speaking, for me. So it is easier to let go when there is nothing that holds you back. Yeah, and as we had in one of the first drawings, if I go back to this here. the question then comes up, which is really the inside and which is the outside, because when you can traverse from one door, I mean from one room through a door into another room, you know, it can be just like layers. When you have this opening, it resembles a little bit with like a chakra vortex, if you like. And yet you are basically in that moment receptive to what you see because you want it to happen in so many ways. The meaning is it reminds me a little bit of what I showed. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of this. So now, in between the separation, when there are two, then there would be like that black vortex or this opening, like you would look out of a cup to the ceiling, and then that would be what you call opening, and around you you're basically holding that in that cup. Tonight we spent the third and last time in the forest. When we go to the map, so we are more or less like on the tip of the head that just merged there. Next, from now on, we will go uphill, and hopefully when we reach the top of the mountain, I would like to basically share with you how it went down with me. As a small spoiler, I can't tell you how it looked to go there, yet I have so vivid memory of how it is to come back, and I would like to stay with that spoiler or teaser, because it's not time yet to add that. The focus is on so many times key, and that's what I try to visualize here with this circle shape in the middle. It's like a window, it's like a portal, it's like the empty space between the doorstep. So that outlook or that insight into yourself is what we are gathering here along the way. And we will have a couple of challenges coming next, because it was so far it was very easy going, and we will have one or two confrontations coming when we're going uphill, and we will see the moment when it will match to basically share with you, and for me also to be ready. So if that is the space for the question answers,
I have one
like...
question more.
Okay.
Sorry.
Please.
Do you also use Dream Spell, the calendar with the 13 moons, in your life, or have you used it? Is it the thing?
If you remember back in the Telegram channel, I posted this drumming this huge drum with the guy drumming there. That was the Mayan calendar that started like 2 weeks ago. That is exactly that. We have one of these calendars hanging in the house. What should I say? No, I'm not following it, but I'm having it as a side, like a. It's not a co-pilot, but it's like a passenger, and I like to see and you know it's how should I say? Sometimes I'm a bit stubborn in just going my own way, or so I like the idea. I like the symbols. The symbols give so much freedom in terms of how you can relate to knowledge or even communication. That the symbols are usually peaceful and they are containing already a story, so you don't need to think that much, but you need to remember yourself of the knowledge through the symbol. So I think I just lost now your question, or did I already answer it, Khalib?
No, it was spot on. Thank you. I recently found out about it, and I was seeing about, is it a step backwards for myself or a step forward? But I think we're so ingrained through years and years of conditioning of living through a weak system and the system of the sun, and I thought it couldn't hurt to see, because there are ways of looking at 360 days of like an exact spiral, and it's just a different relation to your way and your time and your manifestation. So I thought it couldn't hurt to try to work with it a bit and see how this is different, see how to overcome it, because it's not the eternal now, or maybe it is, but I'll have to see, and I want to see how to work with it as well. So thank you.
One point of direction, if I may. That's what I do with my experience. I try to add them together. So to not separate the differences, because that would then keep them up as differences. If you can like integrate the total variety of like if you would be like a painter, and then you would have to decide which colors you would like to work with. And so even for a non-painter, I think if that painter would deny himself or herself from certain color ranges or specific colors, of course that could be cool and new age and also blah blah blah, yet the spectrum is there to basically bring like a fulfillment of variety in creation, and therefore there is no color wrong, or you know, they are coming all together as color. And so if those calendaries or the symbols bring you you know, like a feedback, or like an understanding, or like a new idea, or maybe peace of mind, that's really up to you. It definitely it helps to understand how different cultures were keeping up their understanding of how or what it is life, and everything that comes with it.
I get what you mean. Thank you for this. Thank you a lot.
Thank you. So if we can close it with the questions. This clip is going to be like 49 minutes. So you don't need to stay, but I think if you can make it like 10-12 minutes with me you will have heard already enough, maybe to keep going or to come back again. So I will just start with it, and before I go, I would like to express my thanks for you all to join us here. It's beautiful to see that we have like a round table now on the Mondays, and I'm not going to move anymore, hopefully in the next couple of months and years. So my teaching should continue on the Mondays straight, and so basically to bring the light on the table, and for everyone to grab a piece or just have a good tan working on sitting here in the circle. That is what I would like to share with you and bring some joy and hopeful perspectives and maybe connections to yourself, as the application of mine helps me now in the ways of exploring. Sometimes there are some rough patches that we have to go through. So this teacher that comes now is, maybe some of you know him. I hope you like his voice. The content is definitely so rich, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you very much for being with us here, and if there is nothing...
Sorry. Andreas, do you, because my internet is so bad, I don't want to lose connection. Can you throw your link to Telegram in the chat so I can make sure I've got it?
Yes, the video I will play it here in the Zoom room, and I will.
I don't mean. I mean so that I can get anything from behind, like back, that I've missed.
Okay, but you are in the Telegram channel, the Mozhan training. You're connected there, right?
I'm not sure.
Let me see.
Is there a yeah.
Yes. 1 second.
I'm there.
I don't know. Wait, but I will just. So it is here now in the chat. That's the Telegram group.
Okay, and have I been added to it, or do I have to ask you?
1 second. No, I think it's free to join.
Okay. So that's your email, and then if I go to Telegram, it's called Mozhan Training.
That's the Telegram channel. Yes. Let me see.
Okay. That I wasn't aware of. Okay.
So when you join there, I will copy paste the links of the by then 12 first 12 sessions, and you can dig into that.
Okay, thank you very
much. Got it? Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, so after the video, I will just stop the session. It's gonna be a bit almost like 10 o'clock then. I wish you a very beautiful evening and sweet dreams in the night. Hope to see you next Monday, and I hope you enjoy this message from here.
Did you know that the sun is the primary source? Do you know that the earth gets its energy from the sun? Do you realize that? And do you know the sun has something to do with you being alive? Now, when you deal with the solitarian, breatharian knowledge, listen at this now. This is the model that the air, you see this air we're living in? You can't see it, smell it, or touch it, but you're living in something. The air has everything that the body needs. Everything else is cast off as feces. Because the air has everything that the body needs. And we have this air due to that giant nuclear thermal radiator right there. This is how the planet gets its energy. You see this? This is a life form. It's even dependent on the sun. Now it does a process of photosynthesis. Everybody agrees with that. Oh, look at my buddy. Everybody agrees with that. But now let's take it to another level. Hola. I'm in Oaxaca, Mexico. Having a good time. Now, I remember when I first started, somebody said, humans don't do photosynthesis. Hey, hola. Humans don't do photosynthesis, and photo just means light, and synthesis means combining or putting together. But now, since we've been teaching this message, you say that now, you are showing your ignorance. You're showing your ignorance. They already told you that your body gets vitamin D from the sun. The sun is the photo where the light comes from, and your body synthesizes vitamin D. That's photosynthesis. But we're going to take it even deeper. And see, when a person lies, they got to tell more lies to try to cover it up. And then pretty soon, when you keep going over their words, you can see it. Now, I got some papers here, different research. And you can look it up and fact check it. But we're going to go into, how should I say, what the medical / scientific field is saying that your body can do. And then we're going to catch them in a few things because they talk with a forked tongue. Sort of like one time, they said you need 8 glasses of water a day. 8 glasses of water a day. And I remember when I got that, I tried it. Now, we should be over that right now, but people with white lab coats on and doctors who did 12 or more years of schooling and all this other stuff put that out there. And we know that to be wrong. And all they did was made it up. Oh, man, you got me now. So let's get all of this that they have to say it for it to be legitimate. You are your scientist when you are on this journey. Now, you're not going against the laws of physics, and you're not trying to say everything they say is a lie. No, it's the tree of good and evil. Of course it tells the truth. But you got to know how to sift through it and actually read, because the truth is hidden in plain sight and people already told you. Hola. Oh boy, the people here are so nice in Mexico. Everywhere you go, they saying buenos dias, hi, everybody. Oh man, this is something. Some places I've been, especially up in places where they hardly got no sun, people just walk past each other, moping. But that's because, you know, the sunlight changes your mood. I understand. They do have a thing called SAD, seasonal order depression or something like that comes from the lack of sun. So now we're going to get into this. This is real important. So you can take advantage of it. That's all you got to do. That's why this is a lifestyle change. Solitarian, breatharian knowledge. Uh-oh, you ready? Sunlight helps boost a chemical in your brain called serotonin. And that can give you more energy and help keep you calm, positive, and focused. Now let's look at that. So you got to learn how to read. Just don't read over stuff. See what it just said. Sunlight. That right there. Just, out and over the planet, giving the planet its energy that comes every single day, just like clockwork. So much so, we even know when it's going to, sunrise is going to be tomorrow. That's physics. We know what time is going to come up. We even know what moon phase is going to be tonight. It's, hey, everything's right on time. Now listen at this. Sunlight helps boost a chemical in your brain, come out your pineal gland, called serotonin. That just did it. That's photosynthesis. That's the light, and when the light comes in the daytime, it reacted something in your body. That's photosynthesis. Did you see this? Serotonin. And it could give you more energy. No, it said, and that could give you more energy. Food is energy. So that means it just fed you. You get more energy from the sun. They told you. Oh man. Are you paying attention? And it helps keep you calm because it's breaking up stress. Positive. Yeah, you could be positive. You could be a straight up positive person. Not a pushover, just positive. But you get it from the sun because you got more energy. And you got your right chemical reactions coming off the body. And it keeps you focused. Some people's thoughts is all over the place because your chemical, your hormone balance is off, your emotions is off. You got to go get this sun. Now listen at this. Doctors sometimes treat seasonal affective disorder, that's what it's called, SAD, and other types of depression linked to low levels of serotonin with natural or artificial light. That's how that doctors treat. Because that's when, you know, those winter climates where people stay indoors too much, stay out in the sun too much, they get depression. So if doctors, and they said this is how doctors treat it. With natural, that means get out in the sun, or artificial light. We can make UV lights to give off those UV rays. And there's a thing called biophoton therapy. Go look it up. Where they actually take light, put it on the cells of the place that's affected on the body, so that the cells could get more energy directly from the light to heal the body. Go fact check it. This is the solitary breatharian knowledge. I'm getting healed right now the more I stay up under this. That means if doctors is using that or artificial light, photosynthesis, that means they're saying it's medicine. Remember I said meditation is the foundation. What is my words? Meditation is the foundation. What is meditation? So you can relax. It's the relaxation response. So you can relax so the electrons from the sun could come through the body and heal you. And I also say meditation is medication. Haven't I been saying that? So that's why when I say, you better hear me now. If you saying you meditate and you're sick, you could be doing something wrong because you don't understand what meditation is for. It's to relax so you could get medicated by the sun. We're going to keep on going deeper. We're going to prove it. Now, the sun's light kills bacteria. Sunlight kills bacteria. Unwanted bacteria. So that's why it's medication. You got to hear this now. And it's free. It's out there every day. It's right behind that tree. I'm in the shade now, but it's still cool. I'm out here in the air. The air has everything that the body needs. I'm getting healed. Oh man, this is good. Oh, we're going to get deeper now. Sunlight reduces your blood pressure. That means it's medication. You can either take the pills from the doctor, or you could get out in the sun and keep getting medicated and give your body time so it can lower your blood pressure. And you don't even have to catch blood pressure if you start living for the sun. This is what we're talking about. So those of you who are sick, you need to start what? Going in another routine and start dealing with that medication. But those who are healthy, there's a thing called a preventive health, preventive medicine. Preventive, that means you live in a lifestyle to that will never show up in your reality. I will never catch high blood pressure. It runs in the family. No, it don't. Oh, now listen. Sun exposure reduces the risk of cancer. They up there in all these universities trying to put a concoction together that deal with cancer. And all humanity got to do is stay up under the sun. You know what? cancer wouldn't even exist. If you lived a preventive lifestyle from birth. You got to notice this is a lifestyle. Now, listen at this. Sun strengthens your bones. Strengthens your bones. That's a powerful medication, isn't it? And everything I'm saying here is the benefits from the sun that are already been tested. That's why this is the breatharian, solitary knowledge. Somebody tried to tell me one time when I was talking about health, they said, I know breatharians, and a lot of them is sick. You don't know no breatharians. Don't try to fool me like that. And you wouldn't even be on this journey being sick. Now, you could start out like that when you're on a journey, because that's why you're doing it. And you're doing it because it's a health message. Some of you just want to become breatharian because you think you're going to get famous. You're not. See, it's the people who cross the finish line first where all the attention go. When you come second, third, and stuff like that, it's just for you now. You're doing it because you're doing it for your health so you can live a better life. Now, when you get that in your head, but when am I? Oh, come on now. Sunlight improves your sleep quality. You can sleep better. Why? Because you're healthier. Some people can't sleep at night. They're getting up and down, keep using the bathroom, or they can't get in a comfortable position because the body's sick. And if the body's sick, the mind is sick, and vice versa. And that means your energy is off. See, this is a holistic lifestyle. That means you whole with a W. Your whole physical body, emotional body, mental body, energetic body is all one. Notice how I say energetic body. I didn't say spirit. I'm going to stop using that word. Spirit don't exist. So you can get out of that spiritual mind. That's what's hurting you. Oh, man. Did I say that? Yeah. This is science. This is straight up science. Some man just called me. This is why I got to talk like this, to break you. If you want to be broken. Now listen at this. He called me. We love your message and we want you to come talk for us. Because we know what you're talking about with the mind. We break the laws of physics all the time with your mind. And I said, I don't teach that. That's the problem. You keep breaking the laws of physics. This is all physics. Physically get up under the sun so y'all can make contact. You make vitamin D when the sun, the photons, make contact with the skin. And it synthesizes it. A chemical reaction. So you can get healthy. Laws of physics. Oh man, did we say that? I could go deeper with it, but that's just basics. All you need is the basics. You don't need nobody to talk all deep and say, oh, that was deep. This is all simple. See, people like making things more difficult than what it really is. That's why when you tell them something simple, they say, no, it just can't be that simple. So they'll look for a teacher that's going to put them through something really, really hard. You got plenty of them out there to do it too. But what happens is you'll wake up one day and find out you wasted a lot of time and you didn't accomplish what you needed to do. You don't need to find nothing hard. I found this secret art that's hiding by this secret master that nobody knows in the Himalayas. I've been to the Himalayas twice. Start reading those books and getting out of that foolishness. I was top master up at that place. Now I don't even want to use that word master. I was the one with the knowledge up in that place and everybody came to me. I said it. Now listen. Getting too much sun is dangerous for your skin, however. But contrary to what sunscreen companies and vampires have led you to believe, getting some sun every day is actually quite good for you. Yes, some people's skin is so fair that it will hurt you if you stay out there too long. You understand? But you need to get out there at least every day. You ain't got to stand up under and all that stuff, but just get out in this nature. Your ancestor was out in it. They had no air conditioners and stuff. Oh man, did we say this? Every day get out there. And I'm not talking about sun gazing. Don't nobody put no post on here talking about I sun gaze, you sun gaze. I don't need to stare at the sun. We didn't even say stare at it. It's already doing its job. Just get out of the way. Oh man. Whew, I got to say this to people over and over and over again. Now listen at this. The sun loads your body with beneficial vitamins and hormones. It loads your body with beneficial vitamins and hormones. The sun gives you vitamins. Don't ask me no more. Where do you get your vitamins? Where do you get your minerals? The sun. These points I'm reading, it's the 7 benefits. They got all that stuff out there now. The 5 benefits from the sun, the 7 benefits from the sun, the 10 benefits from the sun. Medically proven. It loads your body. What is a vitamin? A vitamin is something that the organism cannot produce on its own. So it's something that's external from the organism. You see what I'm getting at? So on the breatharian knowledge, I understand because you've been trained to say, well, I need vitamins. But you becoming one with nature or in tune with it and know what this is, it will give you the vitamins. That's why they call it vitamin D from the sun. Now, you don't get the vitamin D directly. You understand? It makes a chain reaction and your body synthesizes it. But you got to make contact with the sun. And then the foods, they say, okay, you get 90% from the sun, but you could get it from these foods. And the foods, when you eat meat, poultry, and stuff like that, all they did was radiated or irradiated the food that the animal was eating, or they radiated the animal. And all you gotta do is go up under the sun. Why go to the source? It loads your body with vitamins and hormones. And what is hormones? Well, serotonin was a hormone. When we were saying that your brain, your body is full of hormones. It's always kicking off hormones for what it needs. What is hormones? Those are chemicals. Those are chemicals. So when you're talking on a biochemical level, all you nutritionists out there, no, you need to eat this to get this, get this. No, you don't. You just need the hormones, the chemical reactions to go off to give you what you need. And the sun will give it to you. See how we're looking at this? Because we got another mind. The mind of God. Oh, come on now. Listen at this. They say getting some sun every day is actually quite good for you. And the sun loads your body with beneficial vitamins and hormones. It strengthens your immune system. Your immune system. Your gut. It strengthens it. Why? Because that's medicine. That's the greatest medicine on the planet. This is good, ain't it? Right in your face every single day. All you got to do is start living for it. That's what they mean by worshiping the sun, being a sun worshiper. See, the word worship, the Hebrew word is avodah. But that's also the same word for work. So when you're worshiping, to work for, toil for, and labor for, that's worship. So your lifestyle is worship. What is your work? What are you doing? What are you living for? So when you're worshiping the sun, you're working for the sun. You're living for it. You recognize it. You understand it. So that's powerful, what I just said. So you're in service to the source. That comes first. Oh man, this is good, ain't it? Now listen at this. And it fights off depression. We already went over that. But sunlight also helps our skin make vitamin D. Now, we've been talking about that, but I'm going to read it to you. Which is needed for normal bone function and health. It's needed. It's vital. You need vitamin D for normal bone function and health. Health covers everything. You need it. Oh man, let me get this together here. Un momento. Oh. You need it. Now listen. And going back to what I said before, the sun strengthens your bones. Now the point I wanted to make, you get stronger bones through meditation. When you relax the body first, you get your blood circulation going, because that's a level of chi. Then it starts strengthening your muscles when you meditate. you start getting more radiation and light into the body. Then it start going into your bones. So they go hand in hand. When you mix this with meditation, you're going to get stronger bones, and your body will be able to hold more light in it until you can eat very little, and you will grow, if you live this for a lifestyle, to none at all. And don't try to say, how long? I've been doing this since a few months, 6 weeks. Stop that. This is for your life. You might do it when you might be 20 years old and won't be able to do it till you 80. Well, I'm gonna quit dead. You don't want to hear that. I'm just throwing it out there. Because you got other experiences you want to do. It's okay. You don't lose. Oh man, eat very little. You real young like that, your 20s and 30s, you don't want to go a life without eating nothing. You're going to be with friends. You're going to be all alone. You never tasted that before. You might meet a new girlfriend or boyfriend. And when you meet a new girlfriend or boyfriend, what is the two main things, the reason why you get in that relationship? Food and sex. Don't do yourself like that. Eat very little, though. Be in the sun. At least have sex out in the sun. Eat out in the sun. I got to make you aware of this. See, sunlight spirits I already got under my belt, so I could drop it now. I outgrew it. You understand? Now listen. So which is needed for bone function and health. Yet sunlight can also cause damage. This can also hurt you because it's the source. You don't come up at the source all polluted and all this other stuff like you can hang with the source. It ain't about that, how long you stay up under it and hurt yourself. Just get a little every day and grow. Little every day, but you got to stay consistent. That's why we tell you, it don't take meditating. You ain't got to meditate all day. I meditate 2 hours a day. Blah, 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 blah. All you got to do is do enough to charge up just like your cell phone. Oh, man. We're making it too hard. Oh, man. Yet sunlight, all right, sunlight travels. Now, this is the good part. Sunlight travels. Yeah, it travels. That's cosmic energy. It's cosmic because cosmos means outside the earth. You understand? That's the alien energy. It has to travel here. And they say it travels like 8 minutes. Wow. 8 minutes is traveling. Speed of light. Coming to the earth. So sunlight travels to earth as a mixture of both visible and invisible rays or waves. Long waves, like radio waves, are harmless to people. So you live in the UV spectrum, the ultraviolet spectrum. It is created by that, God. And you becoming one with God, so God can sustain you. And the more you purged out your body get, the more sunlight you can take. The more polluted it is, the more you can feel the you can't stay up under it that long, you get hurt. That's why you got to be, with they bright stuff, you got to be pure coming to the Lord. And the Lord knows what's wrong with you because that's a powerful light. This is light too, your physical body. It is light. It's just denser. That's why they say visible and invisible rays or vape. See, we see just a certain frequency range of light. All this physical matter is light. It's made out of the same stuff. It's just denser. You understand that? If you don't, just keep studying. You got to study so you can know this. That's why this is a study. You got to get it into your mind. Now this is where it's about to get good. Now we already read what they slipped up and told you. You get a lot of beneficial vitamins with an S. See, everybody just know vitamin D. Now they said vitamins and hormones come from the sun. So now there's this thing called, well, let's look at vitamin C. Let's look at vitamin C. And when we think of vitamin C, we think of orange juice. So here come these fruitarians. I eat and drink my organic orange juice. Don't you drink organic orange juice? For what? So I could pee it back out? Now listen. Here they go now. Now this is fascinating what I'm about to read. They said about 61 million years ago. You know how long that is? 61 million years. Can't even fathom that. Some mammals and primates including our human ancestors, lost the ability for this endogenous vitamin C synthesis. This occurred due to the inactivation of guanylactone oxidase gene, with the consequence that the last step of the sorbate synthesis from glucose was blocked. They just told you. An ancestor, they say an ancestor used to could produce vitamin C, but now you can't. It was blocked. But you had an ancestor who used to. Oh, let me keep reading into it. They said it was blocked in the human genome. The glucose was blocked in the human genome. Thus, humans are unable to synthesize vitamin C on their own. Now, dogs can synthesize vitamin D. Now, that's powerful. Dogs can. Some pigs, some poultry, their bodies can synthesize it. But they're saying that the human and some primates cannot. But this article is saying, but you used to. And I like that 61 million years. I mean, agriculture, they'll tell you what? We've been doing that for 10,000 years. The pyramids have a date on it. What was we doing back then? What was that ancestor doing? You know, we could guess and play around. But it's a shame that we think that the only time humanity did something is in the last 200 years, you know, due to colonialism. That is the worst. If you believe that, that's crazy. Somebody was around a long time, and they used to synthesize vitamin C, but now they say it's in the genome and it's blocked. So now that's why they tell you need to go get your vitamin C. And everybody doing it too. And you need to because it is blocked. You dumb down. The body isn't up and running. That's why the solitary breath and knowledge takes time, because there's some things that are not functioning for you. So you have to heal the body on a deep cellular level. Yeah, you do. Because you're blocking up stuff that ancestors blocked up and information got passed on. That's why they call us a lot of stuff junk DNA. It's not working. It's there, but it's not working. Now, so humans are unable to synthesize certain vitamins to some extent. Listen at them now. Humans are able to synthesize certain vitamins to some extent. They told you. You are able, but the only thing that everybody heard is vitamin D from the sun. Won't they just say what the other vitamins is your body can synthesize to some extent? Oh, we're going to read. For example, now they give you an example. Vitamin is produced when the skin is exposed to sunlight. Now, niacin can be synthesized from the amino acid tryptophan. I'm trying to give it some justice. And vitamin K and biotin are synthesized by bacteria living in the gut. So vitamin K your body synthesizes by the bacteria in the gut. And we got a whole study on that. Yeah, but if you ain't got nothing in your gut, the bacteria's gone. No, it ain't. Some bacteria can feed off of radiation. The bacteria changes due to your diet. That's a whole nother lesson. All right, here we go. Now we're going to see what vitamin C does. Do you need vitamin C? Now let's look into it. We don't want to be foolish. Vitamin C is an antioxidant. Look at that word, antioxidant, that helps protect your cells against the effects of free radicals. So it protects your cells. But I'm out here now, my cells is getting energy directly from the sun. That's a scientific fact. Right now. But wait a minute. Molecules produced when your body breaks down food or is exposed to tobacco, smoke, or radiation from the sun, x-rays, or other sources. So antioxidants. Vitamin C helps protect your cells from antioxidants because they are molecules that are produced when your body is breaking down food. They come about when you eating. I think I read that right. Or you're exposed to tobacco smoke. You smoking or somebody else smoking, antioxidants come up. Or from radiation. That's why, or too much radiation. You need radiation because you're a light being, but you can't get too much. So your body, now free radicals might play a role in heart disease, cancer, and other diseases. Free radicals. We're going to get into all of this. Now, vitamin C, also known as ascorbic acid, that's what it is. Vitamin D is ascorbic acid, is necessary. It's necessary. So earlier I started off by saying, do you really need vitamin D? Yes, vitamin C. Yes, you do. It is necessary for the growth, development, and repair of all body tissues. All body tissues. Well, what is meditation for? This is why you need to meditate. Because meditation repairs the cells and tissues in your body. When you relax in one position, holding it, that's why I be teaching people the Qigong. And every time you do the Qigong with me or anybody else, but when you with me, people change or get healthier. It's a fact. Because I'm teaching you how to get your body in a relaxed type of position so it can naturally grab the energy out of the atmosphere to repair itself. That's why you get healthier. This is so simple. Oh, man. Everybody just keep waving at me, man. Boy, oh boy. But this actually happens all over the planet. So don't let me pick on the places to get less sun. It's the energy that's coming off you, because I still have a nice time waving at everybody. Now listen at this. So it's involved in many body functions, including the formation of collagen, absorption of iron, and iron is already in your blood, the proper functioning of the immune system, But what we read earlier, sunlight does that already. Wound healing. They say vitamin C does that now. Okay, we'll give them it. It does. But keep in mind that they also said that the sun gives you vitamins and hormones in the body, didn't they? Then they came back, well, your body do synthesize, certain things to some extent. Certain vitamins to some extent. They said that. See how you got to read into it? But all of this stuff is doing the maintenance of cartilage, bones, and teeth. Bones. Sun does that. You got to read into it. Oh, man. And then they're going into the dietary. The intake of vitamin C from food and drinks is essential because the human body cannot make this vitamin from other compounds. And we also need to have vitamin C as a regular part of our diet because the body cannot store vitamin C for very long. Okay, it don't stay for very long. That's what they're saying. So we read into it. But you need it regularly. So that means you should be out in the sun regularly. You should be meditating regularly. And then you won't need the intake of the things they say you need to eat or drink. Because that brings on, let me get back into it. The antioxidants or the free radicals come about when your body is breaking down the food and drink or tobacco and smoke and stuff like that. You see how it's contradicting itself, but it is telling you the truth when you read it correctly. I hope I'm saying this right. Oh man, this isn't easy. Oh, but wait a minute. I'm not done yet. Let's get back into this antioxidants. Antioxidants. So they say you need vitamin C so it can build the antioxidants so they could go against the free radicals to protect the cells. Now listen at this. Antioxidants are substances that may protect cells against free radicals. We just said that, right? Antioxidants protect your cells because your body's made of cells, so it's protecting your body against free radicals, which may play a role in heart disease, cancer, and other diseases. Now, free radicals are molecules produced when the body breaks down food or where you're exposed to tobacco, smoke, or radiation. We've been saying this. Now, when your body is in direct physical contact, hey, hola, buenos dias. All right. When your body is in direct physical contact with the ground, Uh-oh, here comes my barefoot journey. Ta-da! I'm in physical contact with the ground. Now you can't see it, feel it or taste it, but something is taking place. Something is taking place. Let's look at it now. I'm gonna keep reading. When your body is in direct physical contact with the ground, like walking on the earth barefoot, free electrons, free. We're gonna tell you what that means. Free electrons, which are abundant on the planet. Abundant. You want to be abundant? I need money to be abundant. No, you don't. You need these electrons. Which are abundant on the planet. Transfer into your body. When I make direct contact, barefoot, walking barefoot, it's making direct contact coming into my body. Just like an electrical circuit. It is. Oh man, I'm getting high. It's transferred into your body. Now these free electrons are some of the most potent antioxidants known to man. Now they're saying a free electron is the most potent antioxidant. So an antioxidant is a free electron. Oh, we didn't know that, did we? That's medicine. How do I get antioxidants? You're on a shelf looking for different things that got antioxidants in it. It's right there from the sun hitting this ground. It's abundant all over the earth because the earth has an electromagnetic field. And you make a connection with it. See, when you have that rubber sole on your, see, rubber and stuff like that, that's an insulator. It's an insulator. That's why they put it over your wiring so you won't shock yourself when you touch the live wire. But with the inside, if you take that off, you could get shocked. So you are, when you wear shoes like that all the time, you are actually disconnecting yourself from the earth, from the antioxidants, from the, which is medicine, the free electrons. This is the breatharian, solitarian knowledge. You don't have nothing coming if you think you're on these. You got to listen. And this is all physics. This is all science. Your body is an instrument, a vessel. You're learning how to use it. Oh, man. Oh, I ain't done yet. So these free electrons are some of the most potent antioxidants known to man. And when your body is in direct physical contact with the ground, like walking on the earth barefoot, free electrons, which are abundant on the planet, transfer into your body. These free electrons are some of the most potent antioxidants known to man. We said that. And the flow of free electrons in a material is called an electrical current. An over 100, back in 1920, that guy that wrote the autobiography of a yogi, he told people back there you got electricity going up and down your spinal cord. Now today we know that's true. All humans and all physical matter has an electromagnetic field. You are filled with electricity. You are filled with electricity. So when you're walking barefoot or you make this contact, there's an electrical current going up the body. And when the electricity is flowing, this is why meditation is medication. And meditation, oh man, I just got high again. I'm telling you, I'm out here getting high, getting healed, I'm getting healthier, stronger. Meditation is the foundation of this journey. It ain't the food. It's that you got the electrical current flowing. Did I say this? That's health. That's medicine. We are in an age of frequency medicine. You got to know it. If you don't, it's okay too. But you're going to be dependent on the health system. You're going to be dependent on others to tell you what to eat, what not to eat. Is you healthy? How to get your vitamin? You're going to be stuck there. You got to wake up. Health is dealing with energy flow. That's why in yoga, they always showing you the spinal cord, the sushumna, they show you the chakras. They exist. They're energy centers. That's all. Your body's filled with energy centers all over. You keep these flowing and loosened up, flexibility, stamina, strength, you will stay healthy. And your health is your responsibility, not nobody else's. And then you'll start finding out that food does slow you down. If you're real young, you really don't feel it, your body ain't been through no changes. As you get older, food start hurting you. Everybody at a certain age feel it right now. You need to start lightening up. And then you need to go to another energy source. And look at that. Oh man, powerful. I'm gonna be out here all day. And I ain't gonna do no desk techniques, no breath work, don't need to. See, I've been doing this so long. My body's so opened up for energy flow. That's what spiritual growth is all about. Energetic growth is all about. Are you a spiritual master? Well, I don't want to say that. I'm not tooting my own horn, but you might as well say yeah if you want to play that game. Oh man, this is good, ain't it? I've done this so long. And all humans have melanin. See, you see how dark I am? Now this is another shame, and I'm gonna put it out there. Oh man, melanin, hemoglobin, which is your blood. Heme means blood. Globin, look at that word globe, round, sphere. What it says is each subdroplet of blood has an oxygen molecule and also iron. Now listen to that word iron. You don't need to get iron externally. Your blood is produced from your bone marrow. It already has iron in it. Whether if a person's starving, dead, full, whatever they ate, if a biologist took some blood from you, there's going to be iron in it. All humans all around the world. And hemoglobin draws light to it. So when you got good blood circulation, look at that word circulation. It got the word circle in it. Circulate. You want that river to flow. You want it to flow. Certain foods and eating too much makes the flow slow down. People got that high blood pressure, hypertension on the body. It's moving slower. Frequency's down. So, and you're made of mostly fluids, which they say is water. Water draws light to it. So melanin, hemoglobin, and water all draws light to it. I don't need to chase the source. The source is coming at me. All I need to do is prepare the vessel and clean it up, and it's automatically going to come in. Oh man, did we say this? You don't need to go fast, have fun. And it's not if you ate or don't eat. Keep the energy flowing. If you're eating, you most definitely should meditate and exercise. Most definitely. And you could go on as long as you want on this planet. You don't need to die from a stroke, cancer, diabetes, liver ailments. That don't need to exist. You just have to stay up under this. And muscle stores energy. How you get muscle? And well, I'm getting all my vitamins and minerals and hormones coming off because I'm in nature. And I ain't even getting into the moon knowledge yet. You get all types of stuff from there. See, at night, the moon, where it comes out, it brings the melatonin coming from the pineal gland. The moon even doing something. That's what I always told you, the sun and the moon. And you in the cycles of it. You're under lunar and solar cycles from ancient times all the way to now. So when spirituality was first written, it wasn't written like it is today on how you interpreted it. They would just talk about the science of you being in tune with the universe. That's why everybody was glowing. The sun will make your skin glow. Look at me. Yep. Because my cells is getting charged up. Oh man, this is good, ain't it? Now let's go back to melanin. Now we got three levels of melanin: eumelanin, pheomelanin, and neuromelanin. Black and brown is the eumelanin. Red and yellow is the pheomelanin. And then neuromelanin, look at that word neural, which means neurons. We have it in our brain, and we have it all in our spinal cord because the spinal cord is an extension of your brain. So your mind and your body is already connected. Get this out of your mouth, talk about you are not your body. Well, you could do it if you want to. We're going to see how it's going to end, because your body's listening to your program. This is me. I took full responsibility for it. I took charge of it. This is an avatar. And an avatar, the definition of a god animating a body. So actually, the energy that's animating the body, my soul is my solar. Solar. So that's where I come from. I just came down into this body and became flesh. Did I say that? Yes. But let's go back to this eumelanin. Now, you got eumelanin, pheomelanin, and there is this what you call racial war taking place. Stop that foolishness. Stop that foolishness. Now, eumelanin, which is darker, it absorbs more coming from this direction. That's why my hair is curly. Just like a coil, because this is electricity. It deals with electricity. That's what it's all about, the electron. My beard. This is all nappy. And nappy means natural, curly, thick hair. So it does grab more cosmic energy coming this way. Lighter skinned people, since they got away from the cosmic energy, move further up north, theirs is coming more from the earth. But it should equal out at the end of the day. And that's due to health purposes. And we got many different other colors in between. If you're that color, there's a whole lot of factors kicked in. The atmosphere, the genes who got together, who mixed. But your body is still in concordance on how it's grabbing the energy into it. And what got me this really thick hair is because my pores and my skin is curled. They're curled. That's why a black person can't catch lice. The lice can't get in there to set the eggs because the pores is curled. A person with straight hair, the pores is straight. Then you got some that's semi-curled. That's why your hair is like that. But let's go back to my eumelanin. It absorbs more cosmic energy, so there is certain levels that I can do this easier. So please stop showing me those ancient books where you have a light-skinned white person on there, that don't even make sense. That's the person who went and invented that technology. It had to be somebody that could take more of this. It's just obvious. Isn't the sun just obvious? A girl just said that. Well, yeah. Now look at me. It's just obvious. What are you looking at? Think about it. Now, everybody, stop the foolishness. We can even talk about the male energy and the female energy. It ain't that one is how it's grabbing it, how it's rotating in the body. Work with the vessel you in. We're all equal, but we're not the same. Keep that in mind. Peace and blessings. Love you. And have the best day ever.
Yo, yeah. Crash land in the palm of my hand. That little flex wanna play by the coast. Carry the torch, I'm way up, it's litty wherever we flow. I came from the cold, used to rest on the floor. I stitch up my wounds, was born a soldier. Flipping the struggle, I'm taking it worldwide. Hold it down when you talk to me. Say it is.
Have a good night, everyone. Nice, so many stayed.
Blessings, Andres. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. It was super night.
You're welcome.
I enjoyed hearing that, man.
Beautiful.
Thank you very much.
It was great. Thank you.
So see you next Monday. Good night.
Thursday.
Or Thursday. The many days between.
Thank you.
See you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.